Hello everyone. My name's ConikiTV, and for the entire length of my life I've been thinking about what can I do to make the world a better place. Deep down in my heart I've had this incredible drive to do something special, and I've been waiting for just something to happen so I could believe that this was the right moment for me, and it's happened. I now know this is my time, and I'm going to use this camera and the internet and you, the person who's watching right now, to accept that I've got something that you need to deliver to someone else, whether you're on the radio, television, have access to the internet, or some other form of media. I want you to help me deliver my message to the masses. Now, I know something that a lot of people don't know, and I hope to explain that to you today. Look, my dream is enormous, and basically I have a whole lot of ideas, but the one I really want to hit right now is I want to change the health of the world. I want to make it a healthier place, and I'm going to do that by changing one life at a time. And today I want to start by changing yours. A lot of you don't know me, but I'm a courageous and generous person. I've accepted that I see the world differently, and I need to explain that to you today. And after I've explained that to you today, hopefully you'll hear my suggestions, and in particular the one on obesity, and how I have a plan to change the obesity crisis or epidemic that's inflicting Australia right now, as well as the rest of the world. But let's start with Australia first, home territory. Look, it's a tough job, and I've chosen to accept it, and I want you to follow me. I intend to reject rejection and embrace resilience, and that's how I'm going to get there. I've asked myself 1,000 times, like, why am I doing this? And the real reason is I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, and you know what, neither do you. We only have this moment right now. And I've just got this incredible urge to do this right now. So, because I don't know if I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, I've chosen this moment to do my bit for you. Because this moment could be my last. My suggestions are very radical. By many, it's going to be deemed to be over the top, controversial, insensitive. I'm going to, press a few nerves and step on a few too many toes by the suggestions that I actually have to make. However, my dream is a dream that needs to be told, so I'm going to attempt to do it now. In regards to obesity, my brain's been bombarded with statistics, as I'm sure yours has too. How often do we turn on the television set or listen to the radio or pick up a newspaper or just open your eyes and look around you, and what do you see? You see a world that's really, really overweight. We eat all the wrong foods, do all the wrong things. Here's that wrong word again. Is it? Oh, maybe, maybe not. Maybe it is. Well, let's have a look, eh? And we hear the statistics. Now, the problem is definitely growing. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm not going to sit here now like everyone else does and bore you with numbers, statistics and figures. I'm not going to do any of that. I know the problem is enormous. It is huge. Now, you know it's huge too. So I'm just going to get straight to the point. I'm not going to bore you with the stats. I'm going to get straight to the point. Now, chaos, C-H-A-O-S. Now, it will flourish when there's no order. Think about it. When we haven't got order, things go wrong, and they're out of control. But when we have order, things don't go wrong. In this society, and in any society where we're civilized, we must have order. And I believe it's the lack of order in our society today that's enabled obesity to become the enormous problem and epidemic that it now is. Now, society maintains law and order by rules, and we adhere to those rules, and if we adhere to those rules, we have law and order. It's that simple. I've got a few examples I'd like to pass by you, so just consider this first before I get to the nitty-gritty. If you consider tobacco, smoking, for example, if you go back a couple of decades, it was fashionable to smoke. You were sophisticated when you smoked. In actual fact, you looked good. And if you didn't smoke, there was something wrong with you. Now, I come from a generation where most people smoked. you know, luckily I didn't. Oh, sorry, I did smoke passively, that is, right? The smoke of others. And, you know, hopefully I haven't caught any disease that I'll be, you know, unhappy to have, but I'm going to do everything I can to avoid getting that now. But let's look at those, you know, decades ago. It was considered normal to smoke, but today it's not, is it? Things have changed. Now, what is it that's changed? Like, think about it today. If someone was to light up in a group of people and they're not smoking, you'd be frowned upon. So what was once cool, an image of sophistication, let's say, is really now an image of abuse and total disregard in today's society. So just consider this. Imagine a mother right now with a pram, having a cigarette, having a smoke. How would society look upon her now? It'd be very, very different than what it was a couple of decades ago. Now, this social behaviour has changed. And there's a zillion reasons as to why it's changed. Now, you can have your own, of course, but you must admit something has happened and it's caused us to change. It's the social environment that I believe has caused us to change. And if you think carefully, it's peer pressure as well. Now, of course, the government's done an enormous job in trying to educate people about cigarettes and tobacco and the problems with it. Like, look, I don't know about you, but I sit down to eat dinner sometimes. The television might happen to be on, and there's a commercial of this poor person with a mouth that's rotten with cancer as a result of smoking. Now, that is the last thing I want to see. But I don't smoke. I really don't want to see that. But even the people that do smoke, they see that. They might not like what they see, but they still smoke. That's not going to change them. Something else happens that makes them change. They all know they probably shouldn't do it, and it will kill them, just like everything else will on this planet. Even crossing the road will kill you. But that's an accident, right? When you smoke, you put that cigarette to your mouth, you do that on purpose. Now, although the government has made enormous inroads into helping us change, it is not that. You know, we really must understand one thing, and that is that peer pressure alone will move mountains. Peer pressure. And that has what caused this social change in attitude of people that smoke to be considered maybe out of social society, and we're trying to push them out now. Whereas before, we embraced them. And we used to think that people didn't smoke was unusual. So just consider that example for a moment. So it's safe to say that birds of a feather flock together. We've all heard that saying. So we find a lot of comfort in being like everyone else. And so if everyone else begins to change, we will feel the need to change too. And it happens without us even knowing it. Someone must take the lead in this particular problem. And I'd like to take that lead. And I want you to follow me. Now, I want you to understand this. Controls are absolutely everywhere in our life. It doesn't matter which and every way that you look. If you look deep enough, you will see controls. Take the example of a bartender. A bartender has the power to refuse to serve you if they deem that you are intoxicated. They don't use a breathalyzer or a blood test or some other, scientific means. They simply look at you and go, "You've had too much to drink. You can't have any more." Do you know why they do that? Because there's penalties imposed on them. Should they serve you just another drink, which pushes you into that zone of intoxication, and you might so happen to leave the pub or the bar or the restaurant or wherever it is that you may be, and have an accident, a car accident. Well, you might have contributed to whatever unfavourable event might have happened as a result of that. Therefore, it's the fact that you're deemed to be responsible that we have these laws to stop us, and therefore we are so afraid of the penalties of those laws that we then say, "No, I'm not going to serve you another drink."